Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about my all-time favorite eyeshadow palette. The number one question that I get from people is which eyeshadow palette I would recommend for them. And most of the time they ask me, what do you think of the Naked palettes by Urban Decay? And my honest answer to that question is always, I do not like the Naked palettes from Urban Decay. They are my least favorite eyeshadow formula that I have tried thus far, and I own a lot of eyeshadow palettes. So the number one eyeshadow palette that I recommend to absolutely every single person that ever asks me that question is the original Lorac Pro palette. This is the first eyeshadow palette that I ever purchased in my entire life, and I am still in love with it to this day, even after purchasing however many other eyeshadows that I have during my lifetime. The reason that I love this eyeshadow palette so much is because of the variety of colors that you get in this palette. As you can see, the top row, you have 8 matte shades, and the bottom, you have 8 shimmery shades. And they are all pretty much neutral tones. You don't really have that really bold color that maybe you won't use all the time. I have personally really dug a nice dent in every single one of these eyeshadow shades. You can create anything from a daytime neutral look to an evening smoky eye. This palette really does it all. And the shadow formula is so incredibly pigmented as well as super buttery, creamy, smooth, so it's super easy to blend. So if you are a beginner at makeup, it makes the blending process extremely easy. It's not that time consuming, it's pretty, it's pretty doable. So in the Lorac Pro palette, you have 16 shadows total, and in the Naked palettes, you only have 12. So when you compare them side by side, this palette is also a couple dollars cheaper, but you get more shadows in here than the Naked palette. Also, another cool thing about this palette is back in the day when I only had a couple of makeup items, way less than I have now, I would actually use this eyeshadow palette not just for eyeshadow, but for other things as well. For example, I would use the shades Sable and Espresso to fill in my eyebrows, and I would use a couple of the highlight shades to highlight the brow bone. I would use the shimmery shades as a highlight on my cheekbones, etc. You can even use taupe, honestly, to contour. So this is an amazingly diverse palette, not just for eyeshadow. Another big difference between the Lorac palette and a Naked palette is that the Naked palettes mostly have shimmery shades, and for people who don't really like to use shimmer all over their lids, or maybe they like matte shades better and they maybe want to put a pop of shimmer every once in a while, this is a great palette because you still have a bunch of mattes and a bunch of shimmer shades to choose from. You also have a true black eyeshadow in here that is super, super black. A lot of black eyeshadows are really not that black, but I find that this black eyeshadow is extremely black. So if you're not so comfortable using a gel eyeliner or a liquid eyeliner, but you still want to get that little cat eye effect, you can actually create it with a powder. And if you don't like how it turns out, you can kind of smudge it away, and shadows end up being way more forgiving than if you were doing a liquid or a gel eyeliner. So that's pretty cool as well. When I bought this palette, I bought it from Sephora, but Sephora no longer carries Lorac. Only Ulta carries it as far as I am aware. So if you want to pick up this palette, you can head over to Ulta.com or go to an Ulta, or just search it up online, and I'm sure that you'll find it somewhere else, but I know that Sephora no longer carries it. So if you're on the fence about buying this palette versus a Naked palette, I would definitely go stop by an Ulta and kind of swatch them side by side, and you'll see what I'm talking about when I say that the quality of the Lorac palette is 110 times better than the Urban Decay shadows. These are just so chalky to me, and these are so much smoother. These feel more like a professional eyeshadow, and these just feel pretty cheap to me. And I'm sorry if that's bashing Urban Decay. I do love a bunch of their other products. It's just their eyeshadow palettes do not do the job for me. This eyeshadow palette wins every single time. I kid you not, I still reach for the palette. It is clearly very, very loved. You can see that I've hit pan on a couple of the shadows, and there are nice dents in them, so I'm not lying. This is an amazing, amazing eyeshadow palette, and I recommend it. Hands down, amazing. It's incredible. If you guys have any questions that I might have not answered in this video, then leave them in the comments below, and I will be sure to get back to you. If you found this video helpful, then please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.